Coming to you from his downtown Denver studio, here's the Backstage Jazz Radio Show with your host, Steve Roby.
Theon Cross is an award-winning tuba player and composer. He is a key component of London's thriving jazz scene, and his unique sound has been described as innovative and hailed for reinventing the tuba. Today we'll discuss his music and upcoming show at Dazzle. Welcome to Backstage Jazz, Theon.
Hey, thanks for having me. Great to speak with you.
Where am I reaching you today?
I'm currently in San Francisco. I just played my second show at SF Jazz.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it went really well. And so far we've done Los Angeles, in the Lodge Room, and then 2 shows in San Fran.
Great. Yeah, that's my old hometown, so I hope you have a great time there.
Oh, wow, amazing. Well, I got 2 days off. So
Okay. Get around and take the cable car rides.
Yeah, I'm definitely get that done.
Could you tell our audience how you got started and who were some of your influences?
Right. Well, I started in music when I was 8 years old in primary school, which I think you guys call elementary school. And my parents signed me and my brother up for brass lessons. And it was quite a happy accident, actually. My teacher at the time gave out different size mouthpieces to all the different students, like French horn, trumpet. Tuba was too big at the time, so it was like tenor horn, baritone, trumpet, things like that. And he said, whichever you buzz a decent sound out of is the one I'm going to give you to play.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me a tenor horn. I buzzed a decent sound, and that was it. I started playing that, and then gradually as I got bigger, I started moving to bigger versions of it. So I went from tenor horn to euphonium, and then eventually at the age of 14, I switched to the tuba, and I just fell in love with it instantly. Loved the vibration of it, loved the sound of it. And at that time, at that age, I was also doing marching bands and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of got into jazz through a summer school that used to play like in parades in London.
Right.
But I'd also be checking out the New Orleans music at the time, like the Dirty Dozen brass band and the Rebirth brass band. But also one of my influences is like people on the tuba who are more frontmen, like Howard Johnson and Bob Stewart and people like that. Bob Stewart, who I got to meet yesterday, which was amazing.
All right.
Yeah, so different influences really, but I'd say that was my introduction to the tuba and then to jazz.
How have you incorporated your sound with this contemporary music that you're playing?
I think the sound of bass is very interesting these days. I think a lot of popular music has quite a round like bass sound. I think a lot of people are leaning towards like kind of synth sounds, which is a lot of a wider sound as opposed to like your thin, stringy electric bass. And I feel like the tuba naturally has that wideness and broadness in its sound where it can fit into like more contemporary styles. I think also, particularly with my music, I think because I'm working with a producer who kind of understands how to make the tuba sound wide and sound thin and we're in an era where you can kind of manipulate the tuba to kind of fit the scenario that it needs to be in, whereas, I don't know, the tuba kind of was eliminated out of jazz history in some ways because it was too big and broad. But now I think with technology these days, you can really make it fit into the scenario that it needs to be in.
For someone new to your music, can you suggest an album of yours or an EP? Where should they start?
Where should they start? Probably Fyah, my first album. I'd say that's a good introduction. But also Intro I think, I don't know, I've got 2 albums and 1 EP. I think, yeah, they're all a bit different. I say they're all at different sides. Intro I is more like the produced kind of maybe more popular side, whereas Fyah is more traditional kind of live band setup, or maybe with influence on production and kind of electronic music, but in an acoustic setting. So one's electronic, one's acoustic. So I don't know. The answer is check it all out. It's a long answer, short answer.
Just hit play.
Yeah, just hit play.
Let's share some of your music with our audience. First up is Forward Progression 2. Can you tell our listeners about this track?
Yeah, so it's dedicated to my father, actually, who unfortunately passed away in the pandemic. And the pandemic was a pretty tough time for everyone, but for me, it was also about grief. My dad also happened to be a reggae musician. When I was like going through his things after I found one of his old cassettes from his band called Nine Nices from the 80s. And one of the songs was called Forward Progression. It was a really great song, and I think the chorus of the song was forward progression. You have to know yourself first. And this came to me at a period in my life where I was, I don't know, going through my own self-discovery and the concept of what he was saying struck like a stronger chord in me as an adult than maybe when I heard it as a child. So it's a continuation of that concept, forward progression, but it's entitled Forward Progression 2 as a continuation of his legacy.
Let's listen to it now. This is Forward Progression 2 by Theon Cross, here on Backstage Jazz. Up next, I have The Spiral ready to play. I understand you co-wrote this song with the leader of Steam Down, who is playing with you at Dazzle on Wednesday. Correct. What's the story with this track?
Funny enough, another theme about kind of self-discovery, going to self, learn about self. The Spiral, funny enough, was I went on a holiday to South Africa, and someone gave me, I bought a chain which had a spiral on it. And when I asked her what she meant, she said it was the winding journey. It represents the winding journey into self. And I was like, man, it's a great concept.
It's pretty deep, yeah.
And yeah, me and Anansi, who's the leader of Steam Down, we've been friends and musical companions for a long time. I guess I was in the first iteration of the band, the Steam Down, and he's been on my first album. And yeah, we've worked together a lot. And as well as an amazing saxophonist, he's a great writer. So it felt natural to like lean on him for the lyrical themes to be expressed in the right way. And it also features Afronaut Zoo, who's also in Steam Down. So it really felt like a family affair there. Yeah, it was a really fun piece to write and make. And yeah, I hope people enjoy it.
Well, let's listen to it now. This is The Spiral, and it's by Theon Cross, and you're listening to Backstage Jazz. My guest today is award-winning tuba player and composer Theon Cross. Theon, what does the year ahead look like for you? What does 2024 look like for you?
2024. I think this year and the last year has been quite a lot of touring. So I think next year is definitely about going back into the lab, at least for the first half of the year, and figuring some things out. Yeah, I think I'll definitely be back in the United States doing some shows. Nothing to confirm yet. So
possibly some new recording projects?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. Funny enough, I recorded some music in New York with the incredible saxophonist called Isaiah Collier. So I'm just in the process of trying to release that. So I think a live album will be the next definitive thing.
All right.
And then I'll be working on the next studio and hopefully doing bits and pieces of touring around that.
That's exciting news. Where do you think your music is heading next?
I think Intra I was about going into self, and much of the process was just utilizing the full capacity of the tuba as the one sole instrument on the album. I think on the next record, I'd like to be a bit more collaborative, lean in a bit with more friends, more instruments, more people I've had the pleasure to work with, and make it more of a family project of people that I've had the privilege to collaborate with and make music with. So I'd like to make it a more collaborative project with more features and more musicians.
Sounds good. Well, let's talk about your show at Dazzle coming up this Wednesday, November 1st in Denver. Who's joining you on stage, and what can your fans look forward to?
So we'll have Nancy on tenor saxophone. We'll have Nate Ricketts, an amazing young drummer from London, and a friend of mine who's been in my band for a good while now, Nikos Ziakis. Fantastic guitarist who can take people into another galaxy with with his playing. And people can expect, I think, a sound they've never heard before. I think they would have never heard the tuba being utilized in this way, in this context. You're getting a raw London sound, which is an amalgamation of like things that music that derives from sound system culture. So you get a bit of dub, a bit of grime, but with the infusion of jazz and improvisation, which I think maybe they may not have heard before in the States. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be powerful.
Sign me up. It sounds good to me, man.
Yeah. I think people are gonna. If you want to dance, let loose. It's not your traditional jazz gig. So come down.
Yeah, it's a great club. I'm sure you'll like Dazzle. And let me remind our listeners, Theon Cross and members of Steam Down will be playing Dazzle on Wednesday, November 1st for a 7 p.m. show. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets are available now at dazzledenver.com. Thanks for your time today, Theon, and have a great show at Dazzle.
Oh, thank you very much. Great to speak to you. Hopefully see you there.
If you're enjoying the Backstage Jazz Show, we'd love for you to like, subscribe, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And now, back to the show.
The Backstage Jazz Show was recorded at Little Raven Studios in downtown Denver, and our producer was Craig Stevens. You can find Backstage Jazz wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to stop by our website, backstage-jazz.com, where all past and current episodes have been archived. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can email us at backstagejazz@fastmail.com. This is Steve Roby. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Backstage Jazz.
You've been listening to the Backstage Jazz Show. Join us next time for more great jazz and interviews with your favorite musicians.